and welcome to the Adam Friedland Show Premium Podcast. Another episode, another day, another dollar. Big day here at the studio. We're finishing up a new episode. Should be out within 24 hours. We're pretty excited about that. Nick, how you doing?
I feel fine.
Yep. What is that? What's that T-shirt you got there? Great Chicago Barbecue Tour.
Yeah, it's a shirt that some guy brought me at a show.
So you didn't actually go on the tour?
No. Somebody brought this shirt to me at a show. It's a bunch of barbecue restaurants.
Are they known for barbecue in Chicago?
I don't think it's specific to Chicago. I think they brought people from, I don't know, they explained it to me.
Oh, they brought people from Chicago
Yeah,
around.
at one point the shirt was signed, but I wear it a lot. So I think that's washed off.
Signed by who? Guy Fieri?
No, different. I mean, maybe. Just different barbecue people.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So it was explained to me. Yeah.
Kind of a nice gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we big day at the studio. I'm gonna be here till late probably, but pretty excited about the next episode. I know Nick doesn't like it when I talk about things that haven't happened yet.
You can talk about it, whatever.
Well, I think it'll be cool. I watched back the final of the interview, which just needs to be tweaked a little bit, but I'm pretty excited about it. But I hope you guys like it. What else is going on? How was your weekend? You good?
It was fine. Yeah, I didn't really do much. Just tried to take care of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaning and stuff.
It's annoying. You should get a lady.
A house cleaner?
I always say that too.
That seems like a... But you pay for... You have like a maid service.
We've had one 3 times in 2 years.
I thought it was a regular thing.
No.
You said every 2 weeks last time I spoke.
My girlfriend wants that.
Oh.
And I think actually now that she's working a lot too, it's worth it. Just if you don't have a lot of time at the house.
Yeah.
Just have it clean. But who cares about this topic of conversation? I will be in Nashville, Tennessee this weekend. Those dates are the 14th and the 15th. I will be in Nash Vegas. And Nick, you will be in Austin, Texas this weekend as well?
Mm-hmm.
At Cap City.
13th, 14th, and 15th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Please come out.
In the mall.
Yeah, the Domain.
In the Domain. Yeah. It's pretty much everyone said it was the worst place to stay in Austin. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it there. I like staying at a mall.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of isolated too.
Yeah, it's like way north of everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's now I guess you could. Well, I don't know. I mean, when I lived in Austin, North Austin was like North Loop area, like Arroyo Seco and stuff, and then I guess now that's more central Austin because Austin's grown. So North Austin.
Where did you live? East?
For the majority of the time, yeah, I lived in East
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah, Cherrywood.
That's what they said is the cool neighborhood.
I guess, yeah, it was affordable, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. I didn't really even go into the city at all when I was there. I was pretty much just at the mall.
Yeah, I moved to that neighborhood because the comedian Joe Stats got a job managing the apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
And so a bunch of comedians moved in there because he would make it so that, you didn't have to deal with like an arduous application process or prove income or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were legendary days. But yeah, the guy that hosted lived in that underneath me, or underneath you, in Chris Cubis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we lived on the ground floor.
Maybe he lived above you.
Chris Tellez.
Tellez.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but from what I heard, it's like there's like 8 clubs there now. It's like a completely different comedy scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we will never be leaving New
We're
York City.
the 8.
There's like a million clubs. There's the Creek, the Sunset.
Oh, Creek. Sunset, what's that?
That's another kind of Joe Rogan affiliated kind of place. And then the Mothership and Cap City, and then there's a couple, I don't know, more. Or something like that. But yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah, I'm in Nashville this weekend. It's gonna fucking suck. My aunt's coming with me.
That would be fun.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
She lives in Nashville?
No, she just moved to North Carolina. She's kind of doing like an eat, pray, love thing. She moved to a place where she knows no one.
Where'd she move from?
From LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she go to? Weren't you just in North Carolina?
She moved there right after I performed there. Yeah. She's like, I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna see her there. It should be fun. But I'm not looking forward to Nashville. Everyone knows my thoughts on the city of Nashville, Tennessee. Although I probably will be at the Florida Georgia Line Bar and Grill if anyone wants to hang out with me. That's where you can find me. How you feeling about this morning? You feel good?
Yeah.
It feels strong. I just watched it. It looked good. What else is in the news? They found cocaine at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing new on that front.
Nothing new on that front, folks.
Yeah. I still. I mean, I don't want to. I can't guess. I never know. You know. But yeah. I mean, I think it's. You know, you're just not going to figure out who that belonged to.
Yeah. Why would they announce it though? Oh, because it leaked that there was something like that they found a suspicious powder. They thought it was like an anthrax thing.
Yeah, I think it came from like a 911 call or something, or somebody who, like, just, you know, there's a type of autistic guy that just listens to police scanners all the time. So there was some dispatch call for mysterious substance found. So you get the fire department to the White House to test it.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that goes over the radio, so it's unencrypted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they found out.
Yeah, there's a recording of the hazmat team showing up and testing it and finding out that it's cocaine.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It would have been case closed if it was Obama still there. He would have been going back to his old ways of being a cocaine gay prostitute. But now it could be anyone.
Yeah.
Now it could have been what else did I want to talk? There was one thing I wanted to talk about, but now I completely forgot about it. I do want to see the new Christopher Nolan movie this week.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Apparently it's real. It really earns its rated R. Apparently it's extra racy.
In what way?
I don't know. You see the guy fuck or something.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Who was Oppenheimer? He made the sonic toothbrush or something?
He's the atomic bomb guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if he did the science or if he was the head of, what is it called? The Manhattan Project.
Oh. I'm watching the
It always sounded like a musical to me.
The Manhattan Project?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Rent kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rather than a cool code name for developing the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
The Nazis had to have had a better name than that. Because they had to have their own atomic bomb program.
Yeah.
The Russians did it the best.
What'd they call it?
They just sent a spy to watch what they did in
They just copied.
Yeah, they had some guy with glasses that just kind of hung out in the background.
And a clipboard.
Yeah, we spent hundreds of millions of dollars, the equivalent of billions and billions of dollars
Yeah.
in today's money to figure it out. And they just had a Russian guy that was like, okay, here's what they did.
And now they have as many as we have, basically.
I think we might have more.
Do we have more?
Yeah.
But they have pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weren't they trying to come up with... But they were trying to do cold fusion and shit in Russia. Wasn't that their thing?
I think everyone's still trying to do cold fusion.
What is that, again? Is that if you can split an atomic... You split an atom, but in a cold way? In the fridge?
I think the way it works, so the original atomic bomb, they use fission materials, there's one side and the other side of the periodic table. So in the atomic bombs, the original ones, you use uranium, which is like a heavy element, and you smash a bunch of uranium together, and when it smashes, it splits in half, and then when it splits into smaller, like elements, then there's energy released.
It creates a tremendous amount of energy.
Right, and then it's a chain reaction, and it basically burns out. It burns its way down the periodic table into smaller and smaller, elements until all of the energy from the explosion is released. That's how it works. Fission is or fusion's going the other way. So you take two hydrogen atoms and smash them together to create helium, and then that should create a reaction. It should go the other direction. But to smash the hydrogen and make that happen, then you have to have a fission reaction initially to create enough force to make those like the fission happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when they developed hydrogen bombs or like fission bombs
Mm-hmm.
in the 50s, they're called like two-stage thermonuclear devices because you have the fission reaction first, then the fusion reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And cold fusion, if I remember correctly, is the process of figuring out how to smash two hydrogen atoms together or any lighter element together to create a heavier element and get that energy release without needing a bomb to do it.
They've never accomplished that.
I don't, I don't think so. Maybe they have now. I don't know.
Have you ever seen that video?
This is all shit I learned in like 5th grade.
You learned that in 5th grade?
Yeah.
We're at fucking Harvard Elementary?
No, I was like obsessed with like the Hindenburg video.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and like just disasters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how does an atomic bomb?
How do you get a big boom?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video of the test? I think it was at Bikini Atoll or something.
Yeah.
Like
That was an H bomb.
But that was an H bomb.
Yeah.
Where they like do it in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they had like a bunch of like discarded ships from World War II that they blew up because they had no use for them?
I think so. I know they fucked up the land for all the indigenous people.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy that they did that.
Who were the indigenous? They were just wearing bras and panties?
Yeah, right. It's Baloo.
They were just sluts?
Coconut bra Baloo.
Oh, it was Coconut Bra Baloo?
Yeah, I think so.
It was big fat
Yeah, it
lady?
was Jafar, Baloo.
It was all of them?
Yeah.
No
Porky the
way.
Pig, Bugs Bunny in a dress. Basically every cartoon character in a dress is who lived there.
What's the biggest gal you ever had?
Your mom.
She wasn't big, you know
Oh,
that.
well, there you go. There you go. There's the answer.
Numbers. Numbers game.
I don't know.
Do you think 400?
No, probably not.
North of 2?
It's crazy that they just made those bombs.
It is insane.
Also, too, I remember, I mean, I learned as a kid, I don't know how true it is, they didn't know. They were like, yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen. There was like some thought that like, oh, we could set the atmosphere on fire.
So they just did it in the middle of the Utah desert?
Yeah.
They were like, let's see.
I think that was more of a concern with the H-bomb. It's like we could just turn the Earth into the sun.
So they could have just destroyed the entire planet. They had no idea.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we've done it. We haven't destroyed the entire globe.
Yeah.
But now they could, though, right? That's like the argument against that. That's the main argument for nuclear disarmament. I mean, we shouldn't possess the ability to end all life on Earth as we know it. Like, that shouldn't, right?
What do you mean?
Like, we shouldn't have it like where, like, if Russia thinks we're going to do it, you know, like mutually assured destruction or whatever, where, like, they can release a couple bombs and then it's over for the entire planet. That's a little too risky for my taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it is, like, how many of those motherfuckers need to go off for it to be cooked? Do you know?
The whole planet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it a lot of them, or, like, is it, like, 3?
I don't know.
Is Hiroshima's, like, nothing compared to what they could do, right? Like,
The
they have
biggest-
bombs that are way better than that now.
The biggest bomb ever set off was the Tsar Bomba. Russia built it in the 50s. And that one was, like, the theoretical payload for that was like 100 megaton bomb. But they didn't have any way to get it up into the atmosphere, and like, 'cause they had to fly, they'd drop it from a plane.
Yeah.
They had no way to get it up there and then fly away
Fast
enough. Yeah, they just couldn't physically build the bomb and deliver it. So they did one that was 50 megatons, I think, or maybe it was 10, and the theoretical number was 50. I can't remember, but that was the biggest one. And that would be like, what was Hiroshima? That was like 15 kiloton or something like that.
I don't know what a megaton is.
Well, like a ton bomb. The tonnage is like how many tons of TNT or whatever they put in like the original bomb. So it's like horsepower. It's like a measure of.
Oh, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So they compare the force of the explosion. I don't know. remember exactly. Again.
So did it fuck up like Siberia or some shit?
Yeah, probably fucked up.
There's just a crater.
Yeah, the whole atmosphere. You can look it up. Let me see.
How big does that look?
What?
I wonder like how big that amount is.
Crater. Let's see.
This is the gayest bomb of all time. Bomb ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Tsar Bomba.
Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, the big thing they have now they're called MIRVs, like multiple something reentry vehicles. So and that's like more like missile technology became like the big thing, like building the rockets.
So you didn't need a plane.
Yeah, in the latter half of the century, because now they have them where you can in the missile, it like breaks up and shoots like 15 different nuclear weapons over like a wide area. So you can't shoot them all down.
Yeah. So you have to like pick it up.
Yeah.
So we have that. We have like launch sites with like 15
Yeah,
warheads.
we have the Minuteman III missiles is our, I think, latest, and that's been the one we've been using for a while. And then Russia has one called it's like Satan II rocket. Yeah. It's like the RS-28, I think is it. But yeah, that thing. I mean, it could like, if it's fully loaded, I think it could destroy like half of Texas.
The Satan too?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you thought the first one was bad.
Yeah, and that one's relatively new.
That's
like,
a cool name.
From like 2018, I think.
Really? Putin came up with that idea?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah. What's the worst thing you can think of? The devil.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's pretty cool. Why don't they drop one of those cocksuckers over in Ukraine then?
They might.
You think so?
Yeah, it could happen. We send cluster bombs over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Barbara Lee voted against it, or she was against it.
I mean, it's like you got to think like what would happen if Russia were to nuke Ukraine? The international press would get mad.
Right.
They already hate Russia.
We would.
They'd face economic sanctions.
They already have those.
Yeah, we're gonna have. Is the U.S. gonna have a ground war in Russia? No.
No.
That's not gonna happen. Russia would probably have to nuke the United States to get people to go on board with a ground war in Russia.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, we need to sort that out, huh?
What, the Ukraine thing?
Yeah.
That'll go on forever. I'm just waiting I said it before, but the only reason there's a war in Ukraine is so the CIA can sell drugs there.
And weapons.
Yeah, well, create some kind of drug. I mean, that's half their money comes from being drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still waiting on the new drug.
Yeah.
The answer to the fentanyl crisis isn't public service announcements. It's not domestic drug policy. It's not even fixing economic issues. Like, that won't do it. It's not going to get rid of the opioid crisis. It's a new secret drug industry created by the CIA in a destabilized country to replace the fentanyl with something that gets you even more fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm still waiting on them to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like the CIA is sort of Machiavellian in its pursuit, right? Like, they do a lot of evil shit, but presumably it's for the benefit of the United States.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's like
that's the company line.
Right. They're not trying to destroy the world. They're just doing it in an effort to make the United States the best.
Uh-huh.
So there has to be some fucking drug down the line.
Yeah, but but the fentanyl is bad for the United States, right? It's killing people in the United States.
But the heroin wasn't.
The heroin wasn't.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because the heroin was good. When they were growing it in Afghanistan and they could bring it over here, the heroin was good. You get everyone addicted to heroin, and then they're not going to go burn down the fucking, Chase Bank.
Right.
Yeah. Fentanyl's a problem because it's killing too many people.
Right.
Yeah. You could have like a drug that just, numbs all of the people that would otherwise develop, class consciousness into a stupor, but also doesn't kill them, keeps them alive enough that they can,
I think
still
I know
work the register of McDonald's or whatever they do.
I think I know what it is.
What's that?
It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Maybe. I feel like that's a thing that we've done to make Chinese people stupid.
Yeah.
That MCU just exists because you send it over to China.
Send it all over the world.
Yeah, and then they just watch baby movies.
Mm-hmm.
You get the rest of the world addicted to baby movies, and then they can't go to work because they want to find out what happens after the credits of Iron Man 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's baby movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we don't even need Ukraine for that. We're already pumping out these baby movies left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if it's baby movies, but I started watching the Watchmen HBO limited series.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not watching anything. I watched Invisible Man last night.
What is that Oh, that's not Hollow Man. That's not Paul Verhoeven's Hollow Man.
Uh-oh.
Did you ever see that movie?
Uh-huh.
Where the first thing he does when he's invisible is he rapes his neighbor?
Yeah.
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 I think Paul Verhoeven, or was it Paul Verhoeven? Yeah, it was. He was like, even that's just my bad.
Yeah.
It's like I should.
Invisible Man's good.
Who made it? It's like an old movie?
No, it came out in 2020. It's like a...
Was it the Ralph Ellison Invisible Man?
No.
Or no, it was the
Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man.
Yeah, a woman leaves her abusive tech bro boyfriend. She like leaves him in the middle of the night. He's like super controlling, and he has all these like home security cameras. So it starts, and she has to escape his house, and she's living with a friend of her sister, trying to worried about this guy's gonna stalk and harass me. He was super controlling. Then she finds out he's dead. He's killed himself. And so then she's like, I don't believe it. He wouldn't kill himself. That's crazy. And everyone's like, no, he's dead. Get over it. I'm sorry you have this trauma. And then she's like, in her room at the house, and like the door opens and stuff. And it's like, it's like supernatural thing. She's like, I feel like he's watching me. And then, of course, you find out he is. He's turned himself invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who made it?
I don't know.
I can't believe I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it came out 3 years ago.
Yeah?
It's good.
Who's in it?
That lady that plays, what's her name, Peggy in Mad Men.
Oh, yeah, that lady?
Yeah.
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 The Scientologist lady?
Is she Scientologist?
I think she is.
Yeah. That was good. And then I saw Insidious Red Door.
Was that scary?
It was almost too scary.
Too scary?
Yeah, I almost had to leave the theater.
Oh, you went to the theater to see it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to scary movies.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't like it.
They're fun.
Are they?
Yeah.
You were scared?
Mm-hmm.
What was the scariest part?
There's a lot of jump scares in those movies.
I don't like jumps.
Why?
Because I always jump. I jump if someone tries to put their arm around me.
Yeah.
I was hit as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm a jumpy guy.
Were you?
I think a normal amount.
Oh, okay. What's the normal amount?
I don't think a kid should be hit, but I think in those
There's
days...
like weapons and stuff?
Yeah, nightsticks, billy clubs,
Mm-hmm.
a couple brass knuckles. Thank you.
I don't know why they do that.
I almost jumped from that.
Yeah. We gotta put like a mailbox on the outside of the door.
Yeah.
They do
What
this-
is it?
It's mail.
Just for a letter they opened up our
Yeah,
door?
it's like the fucking U-Line catalog.
That seems a little presumptuous. There was no knock.
I know. That's what I mean.
That's the USPS and they don't knock?
We gotta start locking the door.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, the Insidious was pretty good.
That was scary.
Patrick Wilson's body is doing... Maybe might have been because I was too close to the theater, but he's built like Wallace now.
You're in the front?
Yeah, that was the only seats available.
What
It's
do you
weird
mean?
They still do it. I went to Regal Essex Crossing, that big new
I
Regal.
love that theater.
Well, I guess I was in one of the auditoriums where, like that was what was nice about Regal when it was new, or maybe not new, but I guess a couple of them that I went to, they didn't do. It used to be if you went to go see a movie and there were only seats in the front available, you'd leave because you just couldn't. You were right here. The screen's right here.
Yeah, it
You know what I
sucks.
And then with Regal, it's like, okay, let's build the theater with that in mind, so none of the seats are dog shit.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, this one I went. It was like way too fucking close.
You were like this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are they They're charging like premiums for better seats now?
Are they?
Aren't they threatening that? Like they're like going to make like an airplane or something?
I mean, I guess they would have to.
I think that's-
Their margins keep getting smaller and
I
smaller.
think that's like the next step they're saying.
Yeah.
Is that movie theaters are going to like, if you want like a middle seat, like
Yeah.
farther up. That it's
Well,
gonna-
yeah, people complain about the concession prices, but it's like that's the only way that they can make money.
Really?
Yeah, so they try and split the difference by giving you a soda that's this big, and you're like, oh, I guess this is worth $18.
Yeah. When in reality it costs 12 cents.
Yeah, if you went to McDonald's, you just got 2 large Cokes. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be anywhere close to that price. But they don't make money off the tickets.
They don't make money at all?
Not a lot.
Wait, because it goes to the studio?
It goes to the studio, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They're just going to go away. I think we're on to something about this MCU being the drug, the poison. It's the new fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't see, the only time that it's gotten dangerous or bad for anyone, and it's not MCU, it's DC, is that one James Holmes shooting.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only negative side effect.
And I think people put like a little bit of undue blame on
on the Joker.
on Batman, yeah, for that. It wasn't like it just happened. It was because it was a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like James Holmes was like, I am the Joker.
Right,
should
but
have
he had the
recorded-
hair.
He just had his hair dyed, but
He
it
had his
wasn't
hair
like he
dyed.
didn't have Joker makeup on.
So he didn't have the full makeup.
He didn't. He didn't have the same color hair. He just had dyed hair. If
Was
the,
it
if the
green?
James Holmes shooting had happened now, like today,
Yeah.
and they put that picture out there, conservative media would be all over the place saying a trans person.
They would have said trans.
This is a trans.
Absolutely.
This is a they/them person that fucking based on nothing
Right.
other than the fucking hair being dyed and enacting trans ideology
Uh-huh.
in an anti-Batmanite, attack.
Yeah, I think that is true. I mean, I wonder.
They didn't
what-
have anyone to hate back then, so they could just.
So they blame the Joker.
Mhm.
Yeah. There has to be. I was talking to my friend this weekend. There has to be like a comprehensive like documentary about the Joker and about the way that it's affected people.
I don't think it's affected anyone.
I think that there are a lot of different communities that it resonates with.
I think anybody that the Joker affects
Yeah.
immediately becomes famous.
You think so?
Yeah, literally all. I mean, there's that guy, the Santa Monica Joker.
Who's that guy?
He's a YouTube guy. He wears Joker makeup, and he's like, "I'm the Santa Monica Joker." And then I don't know. So people fuck.
There's
with
that
him.
little
and
kid,
he's not chill about it either.
the
That's-
Joker baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the Joker baby kid, but I mean, it's like there's no guy that's just sort of casually living his life that's also the Joker. No one's like, yeah, Eric thinks he's the Joker.
Well,
So-
I've said it before on the show, but my friend did tell me one time you have no idea how much the Joker means to the sober community
Mhm.
as a symbol of the demon that's inside all of us, and in relation to their own sobriety. But I thought that it was a really interesting point, honestly. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are Joker like conventions and stuff, and like people doing, there has to be a community.
There's
of
people that go to Comic-Con dressed as the Joker.
Yeah, but I feel like there has to be a Joker-specific community where it's kind of an untapped narrative there.
I wonder if those guys are welcome at Burning Man.
What, Comic-Con guys?
No, Joker guys.
Why?
Clowns, yes, but Joker, I don't think so.
Because it's too commercial?
I think it's too antithetical. I mean, Burning Man itself is pretty commercial at this point.
I think at this point, but there's a veneer of counterculturalism.
Because the Joker is there's
But that's what the Joker is.
the only boundary Burning Man needs to set is this embrace of it's like this like ultimate like humanist endeavor where people should be free unto themselves, but not in like a libertarian sense and like almost like a hippie kind of free love sort of thing, but extending beyond that, where it's like not just you should be able to, we should get rid of these, like the social conservatism, but also you can be like just, well, it is social conservatism. You can be weird.
Yeah, you could be a freak.
You can be a freak. But the Joker, on the other hand, is sort of this negative kind of like chaotic nature. Like, and the Joker's not even really chaotic. If he was chaotic, he would blow up Gotham and then also donate a bunch of money to a charity.
Well, he set the money on fire.
He set the money on fire, but he would do something good. If it was entirely devoid of any kind of like moral direction, if he was truly chaotic, you wouldn't be able to get a read on him.
Right, right.
You know, it'd be like, is the Joker good or bad?
Right, he's decidedly evil.
Right, exactly.
So then he
So
kind of does adhere to a code.
He's not really chaotic at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take that, you fucking pussy, the
Yeah.
Joker. We've got your number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like, yeah, that is a good question, whether or not that guy would be accepted at Burning Man.
In fact, you could say that the Joker is the only one with any actual kind of moral direction. Everyone else in that universe is sort of acting in a chaotic way.
Why is that?
Well, Bruce Wayne is a good guy, but he owns a company that makes weapons for the military.
Yeah, and he does vigilante.
There's the vigilante. Everything else exists in sort of this morally chaotic, world. The Joker is just strictly evil. He's, frankly, the only sane one. The only one that's rational.
It's true.
If you think about it.
I think that's a very valid point. Yeah. From my perspective,
I think Oppenheimer should have been in Joker makeup.
That would have been badass. Yeah.
And Nolan can explain the scenes where he's in Joker makeup. Those are subjective. And the scenes where he's in regular, mime face paint. Those are the ones that are objective. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it, dude. Apparently Tom Cruise is pissed off at Nolan right now.
Why?
Because he's taking all the IMAX screens for this Oppenheimer.
What does he have coming? Oh, Mission
Impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, I sat down like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I'm going to get caught up on Mission Impossible and start again with the first one.
I love that franchise.
They're good movies.
That's one of my favorite franchises.
The third one I remember seeing in theaters, and I haven't seen since.
That's the Philip Seymour Hoffman one.
Yeah.
He's badass.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the countdown.
I put a bomb in your wife's pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle Monaghan's pussy. She dies at a certain point, I think. I thought the last couple were really fucking sick. And
that's what they say. They say they get better with each one.
I don't know if I think they're all just pretty good. I think maybe the one where he's Ghost Protocol maybe was not that good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. But yeah, it's the gimmicks I like. I like the silicone mask rips. Every time, it doesn't get old. Dude, the tech is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting into that show Power.
That would be sick. Mm-hmm. We could do Power reviews.
Well, because they have different, like, I don't know if it's every season, but there's 4 different shows.
What do you mean?
There's Power. There's Power Book of Protocol. There's Power Raising Canaan. There's Power Ghost Book or something. Yeah, there's like different. The newest one's Power 4 Ghost of Books.
Really?
Or something like that. Yeah.
It's good. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a hip hop style?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about a drug dealer from Queens. And his childhood best friend is a white guy.
Really?
Who's another drug dealer.
And then they become super powerful and then they become enemies.
They try to be nightclub owners.
Really?
Then they just cheat on each other's girlfriends with each other or something like that.
Oh. So is it about, well, I guess this is about the definitions of power.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
So yeah, power over your
Ghosts, the Book of Ghosts.
And the Book of Ghosts.
Yeah.
Was that like an ancient Egyptian?
I don't know. I haven't seen the show. That's why I was saying I was going to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they should do another Breaking Bad spinoff.
About what?
Joe DeRosa's character.
Oh, the vet.
The veterinarian.
Yeah, who removes bullets for criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah. like, oh, it could be good. Each episode could be like serialized, right?
Mm.
Where each episode is a different criminal coming in with like a boo-boo.
Yeah.
And Joe DeRosa's like, what? I'm a fucking vet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, and then you go to the backstory of each criminal coming to him.
Yeah.
See how they got there.
Like a prequel.
Yeah, prequel.
Yeah.
Kind of like that show High Maintenance, where each has a different story.
Well, because you get to did you watch Better Call Saul?
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah, you think Joe DeRosa is just sort of this background character, but it turns out he's the guy, he's the reason Saul is who he is.
He is?
Yeah, he's the one that has the contact book with all the criminals, and he gives it to Saul. He's like, I'm going on vacation.
Homer?
Yeah, that's how Joe DeRosa talks.
He talks like Homer.
To me, he sounds like Homer Simpson.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merge. Yeah, that's good. I thought Lavelle Crawford was the main character.
Yeah.
The fat guy. What was it? He works for Saul, right? Is he in the prequels?
I don't remember seeing him in Better
They don't bring
Call
him
Saul.
back.
No, it's him and Bill Burr in Breaking Bad.
Bill Burr's in Breaking Bad?
Bill Burr and Lavelle
Oh, yeah,
Crawford.
he like breaks into things and stuff.
Yeah, Bill Burr and Lavelle Crawford.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's a good actor.
He's in Star Wars also.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who does he play?
I don't know.
Darth Sidious
I
or
don't
something?
know. I think it's one of the Star Wars shows. I can't remember. I didn't see, I've said this before, but there was 3 Star Wars movies forever, and then it was a huge deal when they made 3 more. And then somewhere, it was like 2014, they were like, all right, here's 15 new pieces of Star Wars media every fucking year. It's when Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Right.
They just started pumping them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been inundated with content. It'll be interesting. Everyone's thinking it's like, oh, this AI thing is just going to replace everybody in Hollywood. But I think it's, Wall Street came in. They made as much money as possible. And once they see the money start pulling back in terms of ticket sales or streaming subscriptions, they're just going to say, okay, well, let's produce way less. And it's not going to be that everybody gets replaced with AI. It's just we're going to have way less content.
But what about the CIA needing it to make Chinese people stupider?
They'll keep making what they don't. I don't think they have anything to do with MCU. I think they just come in and.
Well, it's still like, Disney.
Let's make more Jack Reacher movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Jack Reacher? That's Tom Cruise as well.
No, it's. Is that Tom Cruise? There's Jack Ryan, who's the Tom Clancy character.
That's Jack Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Hunt for Red October. And,
yeah. Well, it's a lot of different things.
And a bunch of different guys.
Yeah. Fucking.
Jim from The Office.
Harrison Ford plays him, and Jim from The Office plays him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jack Reacher is that Clive Cussler? Who's that based?
Who's Clive Cussler?
Clive Cussler's like a grocery store novelist. You ever see that movie Sahara?
No.
With Matthew McConaughey.
Was it like an action movie about the desert?
Yeah, something like that. Clive Cussler, he has this like Mary Sue character named like Dirk Cutlass or something. I think he's got some dumb name. He's the main character in all his books. And he's like an international explorer or whatever. And in one of the books, I can't remember which one, it might even be Sahara, but in his real life, Clive Cussler was like into like antique planes and like roadsters and stuff. And
he was one of those kind of rich guys.
Like watches and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I remember I think I was working in a grocery store. I was like 15. And I flipped to like just a page in one of those Clive Cussler books. And it's like Dirk got out of the airplane and watched on the horizon as the old roadster pulled up to him. And like a dapper looking older gentleman steps out and walks up and extends his hand to Dirk. Dirk says, "Wow, what's your name?" And he goes, "Clive." And so he wrote himself.
Clive Cussler.
Yeah, he writes himself into his book, meeting his like Indiana Jones character.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I think Clive Cussler died recently.
Did he?
Maybe.
I don't remember his name at all.
Clive Cussler?
I remember Tom Clancy. I remember the other guy. What's his name?
He died in 2020. Yeah, he's an adventure novelist and underwater explorer. It's thriller novels, many featuring the character Dirk Pitt. Yeah.
And that's what that movie Sahara was?
Yeah, this guy's got an awesome look, too.
You're gonna look like that one day. That's
Yeah.
definitely gonna be a Mullen facial hairstyle at some point.
Yeah. So Dirk Pitt is his guy that he writes. He's was in Vietnam. Manages to find an adventure with his childhood best friend Al Giordino. Isn't Al Giordino the name of?
The pizza place in Chicago.
Oh, okay. What was I thinking of? It's Yaphet Kotto's character in Homicide. Oh, sorry, Al Giardello.
Jardello.
Yeah, Al Giordino is Dirk Pitt's friend. Yeah, based on Doc Savage. And despite any of my yeah, he's the head of the National Underwater and Marine Agency, which I guess Clive Cussler was the founder and chairman of in real life.
Oh.
So Dirk Pitt is his fictional employee. Yeah, Pitt has a commanding presence, quick wit, and a considerable collection of classic cars. Critical studies. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I
I wish I had classic cars.
what would you get first?
Like a Benz 540K.
Which one is that?
It's like their Roadster from the mid 30s.
Did someone have one of those? A bad guy?
No. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of bad guys that had them.
But you know, you want to say Mercedes-Benz mid-30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's a going to get your dick sucked car.
Yeah. Red leather interior, black paint.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how long the front of those cars are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's you should start getting classic cars.
I mean, I think you need
Be a
to
Jay Leno's
I
garage
think
kind of
you
guy.
need to be somebody with like a net worth of like $900 million to
How
start.
much money does Leno have?
Probably close to that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Would you get like stupid cars? Like, oh, there were only 12 of these and they didn't really work that well, but I have one.
No.
I saw a BMW the other day where
No, you just want stuff you go out, live out in the country, you take one of these out every
Yeah.
Sunday.
do you know the
Go for a
BMW
spirited
Z1?
Z1?
Yeah, look it up. It's a roadster, but they didn't have doors. You press like the keyhole and then the door comes down.
Oh, interesting. There was
It was from like 1990?
there was a concept Lincoln Continental disappearing doors. You ever see that?
No.
There was this company in the UK that
Were they like swipe
no,
open?
they go under the frame.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Z1 had.
Yeah. But it required all this shit in the fucking
Well, it doesn't go under the frame. It's just that you have to kind of jump into the car even after it comes down.
Yeah, no, they would do that.
Oh, it goes like a garage door, but
It
reverse.
just goes underneath the floor
yeah,
pan.
yeah.
But I mean, it was like
Kinda
built as like a concept, and like it was all like hydraulically controlled. So in the trunk, you have these like big tanks and motors and stuff.
Yeah, it really solves a problem.
Yeah.
Opening doors. The BMW one is cool.
Yeah.
This really changes everything. This particular model, we have chosen to
It's cool.
Yeah.
and lengthen the door by 10 inches in order to increase access to the rear seats. These somewhat drastic modifications to the baseline vehicles have in no way detracted from the appearance of the cars. These prototype conversions work well for that.
Wait, why would they have that British guy doing the voiceover? So it seems classier. It's an American company.
No, it's not. It's a British company.
I thought you said Lincoln Continental.
They took a Lincoln
A British company
and
did
then-
it.
Yeah, they modified it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they make Lincolns anymore? They do?
Yeah, but I don't think they have any sedans.
They make the Navigator still.
The Navigator, a lot of crossover. I don't know if they make the Nav. The last time I saw a Navigator was like 2019, but I don't know. I don't really pay attention.
I don't pay attention to
Yeah.
cars at all.
But yeah, I don't think they have any sedans anymore.
Yeah. The Escalade is still out there. If you like go in like Wall Street around 6 p.m., like everyone's drivers are waiting to pick them up and drive them to Westchester in Escalades.
Is that what you want?
A driver?
An Escalade?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, dude. If I got like a big ass car, I'd get a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, dude.
They don't have the Land Cruiser anymore, though.
They're bringing it back this year.
Are they?
Yeah. And they have it around the world too.
Are they bringing that back, or they're bringing the Land Cruiser Prado back?
The Prado's never been sold in the United States
They're
except
bringing the Prado
the
over. here.
GX470
Is yes.
was the
is
Prado.
Similar, yeah.
was the
But I think next year to the 2025 there'll be.
I think they're going to bring the Prado and the Land Cruiser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they stopped production this year in the United States.
You're like a Land Cruiser guy.
I wanted to buy an LX470 for a long time, but there was no way I could pitch my girlfriend a 3-row car that's really difficult to park and gets 13 miles per gallon.
You'd just destroy it too.
I would smash.
You wouldn't take care of it.
I would smash cars like
Yeah, you bought that.
parallel parking.
You bought that Benz and immediately hit somebody with it.
I didn't buy that Benz and I didn't hit someone. Someone just broke suddenly on the BQE.
And then you hit them with the car.
I broke suddenly afterwards, and then yeah, we had a little collision, and then they freaked out because they were smoking weed.
But that was like a week after you bought it.
It was less than a week.
Yeah.
It was like 3 days.
And then you
later.
drove that car into the ground. You like destroyed it within 3 years.
I did not destroy that car. First of all, that car was a piece of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that car is from an era of Mercedes-Benz where Chrysler took over and if they fell off a cliff.
But you drove it off a cliff.
I did not drive it off a cliff. The car just continuously kept braking. Every part of the car kept braking. And it wasn't from collisions. It was from just the car sucking. The air conditioning unit would break every 5 minutes. I just didn't have AC for 2.5 years. I just drove it because I thought it looked cool.
You got you have like a V70 now. What are you driving?
They don't make the V70 anymore.
Well, I don't even know what car you have. You have Volvo.
V60.
V60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the
And you love that.
base model. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really nice car. I've never had a brand new car before.
You leased it?
I leased it.
Yeah. That seems smart.
Yeah. Apparently someone told me and it sounded right, even though I didn't, that's what the wealthy do. They only lease. But it makes sense because
Well, it's a depreciating asset.
the car is a depreciating asset, and then shit keeps breaking, and then eventually you're responsible for all of it after the warranty is up, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And a car is a nightmare for the rest of the time you have it.
Yeah. Although used car prices have gone up.
Yes, since COVID.
There have been windows where buying makes more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since COVID, used car prices have shot through the roof. I think the only smart car to buy is probably a Camry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're the most dependable and cheapest to fix cars. You can drive it for 300,000 miles. They're great cars.
What's going to happen with all the Teslas?
I don't know. Why? They suck?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens when those batteries go?
Yeah, what's the argument of, like, how do you dispose of an electric car's battery?
I don't know.
And how much would it cost to replace?
I just know that this
is car talk.
Yeah, well, it feels like, just as a casual observer and someone who never had any interest in Teslas, that a lot of the marketing was not done by them. It was just sort of imposed upon them by the marketplace itself. Like they came out, I mean, Elon buys this company, and then I remember seeing like virtual dealerships in malls. It was like the first time I ever saw that. You remember that?
Tesla dealerships, yes.
Yeah, they weren't dealerships. It was like
And they didn't have cars.
Yeah, it was a thing they do in Manhattan, where
Yeah.
there's brands that have flagship stores here that lose money.
Yes.
They don't do anything. They're just
Yeah.
like Cadillac had one. They had a Cadillac house. It was like a club you could hang out in fucking the financial district or Soho or something.
That's cool.
And so it was seen as this sort of like, not even I wouldn't even call it luxury, but sort of a thing for like the rich of the future, like tech conscious people to be like, oh, here's an EV from a new company and they're rethinking a disruptor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a disruptor, like the Apple of cars or something like that.
Right.
And now that they've been around for a long time, and also too, when they were sold like software, where it's like a lot of the features are going to come with updates. You're getting something early, and then it's going to be updated. There's going to be additional features.
You'll have self-drive.
All this shit that never really materialized and didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think they called it Plaid or something. I forget the name of what their
I don't know.
premium thing. But now that like Elon has way more visibility and people can kind of see him as like
A dickhead.
just sort of an erratic guy.
Yeah.
And especially what's going on with Twitter, it's like, okay, well, obviously we were all just kind of like drunk on like the idea of a future filled with EV, and
I think most car companies are ramping up production right now of EVs.
EV. Yeah, well, I mean, they have to compete with that segment, but I mean,
Yeah.
running a car company's got to be really fucking hard, and the ones that have existed, they took 100 years to figure out how to do it.
Well, that was the exciting thing. If I'm gonna try to figure out what people liked about it, the exciting thing was that he was starting a new car company.
What, Tesla?
Yeah.
I think he bought it.
But
But
that
there's
it was like
other-
something that didn't exist before. And
I
that-
think it was the way in which it was tethered to Silicon Valley is what made it different.
Yeah.
It's because there's other like EV startups, but they come out of like like India or Vietnam or whatever, and it may be that the luster of like because he didn't invent electric cars. They've been a thing since the 90s, but they were seen as gay or something. I don't know. Certainly like hybrids, Priuses. They sold way more Priuses than anything.
Yeah.
But I guess people's perception of them will probably shift as
I think they're becoming more and more in demand, though. I think people
Teslas.
with electric vehicles.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I guess. Yeah.
I don't know is he still planning on making that like basically less efficient subway system where he digs tunnels and then you get picked up in a Tesla and then
Yeah.
he's still doing that?
I mean, he can't even figure out like profile pictures at like a company that he bought. So, which is I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
He's popping off on Twitter, I think today or yesterday.
about what?
He said that he wants to fight Zuckerberg
Yeah.
and that he's a cuck.
Well, they're suing them over that Threads thing.
Why? Like from stealing their idea?
Yeah. Well, for hiring ex-Twitter executives
With non-competes?
not non-competes, but that they like shared trade secrets or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to build the Threads app.
I want to see them fight.
I like that the show now is just people trying to remember things that you can Google yourself and get the actual details.
Just like real news stories that we just saw for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah,
And we're like, I think that's happening.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's what is happening.
Whatever. That's
I
fine.
don't know. Yeah. No, I mean, we're finishing this new episode. We're pretty excited about that.
Well, hopefully there's like an opinion or some sort of editorializing that can happen on each one of these.
All right. So I liked your opinion about the fentanyl being replaced with something stronger.
I don't think, whatever, I'll shoot from the hip. I don't think EV has a future.
You don't think it does?
I don't. I really don't.
You know, the only guys that I think are brave enough to say that are what's his name? Jeremy Clarkson.
There's
the
a way-
Top Gear guys.
There's a way.
They're like, these suck.
There's a way at the consumer level, in terms of the individual vehicles, that the effect on climate change, or climate
Yeah.
issues, emissions, can be like resolved. You can make cars that have like near zero emissions with an internal combustion engine.
How do you do that? You make the factories greener?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't mean the factories. I mean in terms of like.
I mean, like,
you
but-
driving the car.
Yeah.
The exhaust that comes out of the car.
How do you do that? Do they make those?
And this is again. I mean, this is pressing-
Alternative fuels?
Nah, well, that's another thing, is like hydrogen cell technology, but I can't remember this exactly, but so basically when a gasoline car runs, the type of pollution that it produces is you take gasoline, you mix it with air, and then the engine burns it. It detonates, and then that in turn spins and then the exhaust that comes out is a combination of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, and hydrocarbons, unburnt fuel, right? And theoretically, if you had like a perfect like ratio 14:1 of like a fuel air mixture 14:1 perfectly in like the combustion chamber, and then it burns perfectly, so the spark plug fires at the exact right time, the mixture is like relatively not like homogeneous, but evenly distributed throughout so that it burns 100%. The exhaust gas that comes out of there, and assuming this burns at the right temperature, which has to be like less than like 2,000 degrees, then the exhaust that comes out will be like relatively close to just being carbon dioxide and water.
And that's with petroleum?
Yeah, with gasoline. You could.
With gasoline?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about like, like if you sprayed like Axe body spray on your hand, and then
I do it all the time.
and then you lit it on fire, it would burn off. And
Yeah.
like what is given off, like I mean, if you can like completely burn something or like combust
It's
it
just carbon dioxide.
in the right way, yeah, you're not going to get like all the extra byproducts. It's all the other things that come from one, engines running like hot. Once you go over 2,000 degrees, you get oxides of nitrogen, which is what like a catalytic converter removes.
Yeah. It seems to me also that just a car stalling can't be very good for the environment, right? Like an engine running while you're just at a full stop.
You mean idling?
Idling. So
Yeah.
not stalling, idling. Yeah. That's why like newer cars, the engine shuts off.
It's not the idling necessarily. I mean, yes, idling, because you're never going to have, there's like things are constantly changing in terms of the variables in place when the engine's like burning fuel. Like the temperature outside, the speed at which like the air is entering the engine, which is determined by throttle position.
Yeah.
Like the density of the air itself, like how much moisture is in the air. There's a lot of things that can affect it. But and that's what the computer does. It used to be a carburetor that would like balance and mix everything. But at the computer, it measures the temperature of the air coming in, the engine temperature, and the speed in which air is entering the engine, and then it determines how long to hold open the fuel injectors based on those variables, right? But it's constantly making these adjustments, and the engine's spinning so fast that it's just like it's catching up with itself all the time. So these like imperfect ratios in terms of fuel to or like gas to air is what causes like these like unburnt fuel to end up in the exhaust, or the engine running too hot for a second and needing to like richen the fuel to cool off the the combustion chamber, like all of these things that end up contributing to those pollutants being in the exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't there, I mean, I'm an idiot, but isn't there a theoretical point where we just run out of gas?
I don't know. Isn't that like a thing? It's like I don't know.
Is there enough shit
Everything's-
underneath
everything's-
Saudi Arabia?
Everything's so like there's like stuff. There's opinions that I don't like that I'll like. I don't even have. It's just what I've read.
Right.
And it's like now it's funny because like to think about being like politically correct. Like there's stuff not to say, like, oh, like black people like fried chicken. Not to say that.
Yeah.
But now it's everything. Where if you're like, oh, I think there might be enough gas reserves. It's like, is that a right-wing theory that fucking
It sounds like you can't say it.
Yeah, right. I know.
It sounds like that's the wrong thing to say.
Yeah, but
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Because I know that there's been like oil reserves that are like, oh, this has to be like tapped based on our math, but they keep pulling more oil out of it.
Really?
Yeah, it might even be that like fossil fuel theory.
It's magic? It's Hanukkah?
Yeah, it's just wrong, and that the Earth is filled with this shit that it keeps like regenerating.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know.
Isn't it just like dinosaurs and crap? It's like,
yeah, that's what I thought.
I think it's dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's like shit that died and then became gas.
Yeah,
I don't understand anything.
I think though that's all to say though that I think that there's theoretically a way, and I don't think it's like entirely far off, that you could make an engine that's extremely efficient, that gets like 50 to 80 miles a gallon. I mean, in the 80s, Honda did it with the CVCC engine. They had one of their Civic models could get like 50, 60 miles per gallon.
Just straight up.
Yeah.
That's what a hybrid engine gets.
Yeah, no, it was. I'd have to look.
That's
it up
better
again.
than what a hybrid engine
Yeah,
gets.
again, I don't remember
60
exactly.
miles per gallon?
Yeah, like a really impressive number, and it just had to do with like better engine management.
And efficiency.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a way theoretically that you could get an internal combustion engine to produce like close to zero harmful emissions,
Yeah.
and then run efficiently. And then the question is like, is the production of fossil fuels that goes into like these cars, like the process of drilling the oil and then refining it,
Yeah.
does that have more of an effect on climate change than digging up enough fucking lithium to make these fucking batteries?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, right, it's right. It's digging
That
up
just doesn't sound good.
digging up the lithium, and then also like tapping the resources of like whatever. I don't know where lithium comes from, but I can't.
Africa?
Like everything else in the world, I'm assuming it's from some poor country that we're just stealing. So
I think it's probably like kids are at mines, right?
Yeah, it's diamonds basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like what is the cost of producing all these things? Assuming, and you can't do the number now. You have to use the number where we replace every fucking vehicle. That's why it's always coupled with like, oh, let's get away. We want EV, but we also want to replace personal vehicles so no one has them anymore. So it's like, okay, well you can't. It's like it's like a similar argument to, there's that video of fucking Ted Nugent on Joe Rogan where he's like hating on vegans.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to be vegan? So the amount of frogs and fish and foxes and rabbits that have to die to go into your soybean farm so you can have a soy taco?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
I killed
know
one
that
animal. And
fucking
it's like,
argument.
okay, that's a valid argument. If you're
Sure.
comparing like somebody that hunts their own food.
No one's
to
fucking doing that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
I'm going to McDonald's.
Yeah. So if you like
And
combine,
it's delicious.
yeah, if you combine your, if you say EV to cut down on emissions, but also we're gonna like take away the number of cars people have, then you're making two different arguments. You know what I mean?
And also the electricity going into the lithium batteries. This also sounds politically incorrect, but that's probably what, coal?
Yeah, coal. I mean, there are clean energy options, so that's you could say that, but that's a separate problem that can be resolved either way.
Right.
I mean, like nuclear is pretty clean.
That's what they say.
Yeah, it's just that it's not safe. And early on in its life, there were a couple of like huge fucking incidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there one in Japan like not very long ago?
Fukushima.
Yeah. They're saying it's safe to go back and people don't trust it.
Yeah.
To Fukushima.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's safe. It's my opinion that it's safe.
Yeah.
I want to let everyone know that.
My theory is that
Go back to Fukushima, have fun.
radiation isn't harmful at all.
You don't think so?
No, that it was like a thing, like it was a psyop. So he built this bomb, these big bombs, and they didn't. I think that was like the secret, is that they weren't as deadly as they thought they would be, and so they say, oh well, there's actually radiation on top of it, and so that's what will kill people.
So it's a good psyop?
Yeah, because because they were invented as weapons. So if the Russians are thinking, oh, if they put this bomb off, not only does it destroy this town, but we can't even rebuild it. You can't go back there because it's poison. But then Chernobyl happened, and now there's just a bunch of weird Russian freaks living there, I think. I don't know. But you see guys with motorcycles that go do tricks
Yeah.
at Chernobyl.
And GoPros and stuff.
Yeah. But there's animals that just live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do those animals have 3 assholes?
No, they seem fine.
They seem all right.
Yeah.
I'm loving our spicy takes today.
Yeah.
I'm loving our spicy takes.
Yeah. No, I think, EV's not going to be a thing.
It's cooked.
Yeah.
But it is fat. They are quick, those cars.
Yeah.
You can go 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a thing where if Tesla, and I don't know, I don't pay attention and I'm stupid. But if Tesla fucks up royally and, which they seem like, because the number one thing is going to be like customer service. And when those cars start having like serious problems after, the average owner has had the car for 10 years, it's like, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
if Tesla goes, then what? There's going to be another EV company that people are like, oh, actually, I trust this one.
Well, I would have just assumed that regular car companies would be just building more and more EV models, right?
Yeah, but
Instead of having a
maybe.
company that's just E EV.
we'll see. I still think, yeah, steam power.
Steam, you think?
Yeah, steampunk is due for a resurgence.
Yeah, just shoveling coal into
That's
the-
really going to be fucking annoying.
What?
When steampunk, like, all you know, how the Zoomers do all this Y2K shit now.
Yeah.
It's like when the Zoomers are
They circle back to
when
that.
when you start hearing the term geriatric Zoomer
Ugh.
and whatever Generation Alpha or whatever is, they're acting like Invader Zim steampunk guys,
Oh, God.
and the Zoomers are like, no, you don't understand. That was the lamest type of person to be,
Yeah.
you know.
They're going to be celebrating that.
Yeah, and it'll be like a Generation Alpha. Some guy dressed like the Joker, steampunk Joker,
Ugh.
getting all of the pussy in Bushwick in 2032.
In 2032
Yeah.
Bushwick.
Right.
I don't even want to think
A
about
guy
what
wearing a
that
shirt
is.
that says, "Do I look like I speak sarcasm?" Or like, and big goggles on his head.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, we should finish up the new episode, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
Ginsburg,
much
how
done.
we looking? All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We have a new episode hopefully in the next 24 hours that's coming out. The Adam Friedland Show, the talk show. We have two more.
Might be a little bit longer actually because we have a new team member
Yes.
who I guess I will not dox him on the show.
Oh, but
by
he's
saying his
living in a
name.
different part of the world.
He lives in Australia, so I think he's
Yeah.
asleep right now. So I'm gonna get this to him. But we've hired the winner of the
Fuck a fan contest.
the copyright infringement
Yeah.
Coliseum Gauntlet, the last remaining
Yeah.
Cumtown content uploader on YouTube.
Yep.
We've
The guy in the Philippines thought he was going to win,
Yeah.
but he did not win.
He did not win, so we've hired, what is it, Creamium?
Uh,
The guy, Mr.
Taft
Cream.
Clips.
He also runs that.
Taft's Clips.
But the Creamium guy is now on board, and he, under the auspices of the Adam Friedland Show,
Yeah.
will be taking down the Filipino guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's exciting.
it is
It's a
exciting.
little war.
Yeah.
A little war is going to be happening.
Yeah, the Filipino guy finally gets his comeuppance, which
Yeah.
should have happened years ago,
Yeah.
for
The two-
abusing the goodwill of the show,
Yeah.
saying anyone can upload whatever they want, and then he went in turn and DMCA'd everybody.
Mhm. We built a monster.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. This weekend, Nashville, Tennessee, Austin, Texas. Stay tuned. Sayonara.